As part of a nation-building exercise in 2008, Lithuanian communications specialists came up with a slogan. The slogan was Lithuania, a brave country. Squeezed between the heavily militarised Russian enclave of Kaliningrad to the south and, of course, the pro-Russian Belarus to the east, the past 2 years have proven that Lithuania understands bravery better than most, standing firm against Moscow's aggression and loudly calling for more support for Ukraine. Dalia Grybauskaitės is the former president of Lithuania. Welcome to you.
Yes, hello.
You know, I've actually been to the KGB museum in the capital of Vilnius, which is dedicated to showing artefacts and records from the 50-year period of Soviet occupation in your country. So I know how ever-present the history is, but coming to today, you've said that Russia is a survival threat to your country, that if you retreat, there'll be nothing to gain. Just how dangerous is this moment in the history of Lithuania?
It is, and I think we are all in quite dangerous historic situation geopolitically, not only in Europe, but in the world. We do see a lot of tensions, a lot of military conflicts around the world. And Russia today, with its very aggressive invasion to Ukraine, poses the threats not only to Ukraine, but all Europe and all democratic world, and including to Baltic states and Poland, and even now Finland on immediate border. And today we can say that we do see these terroristic elements in behavior of Russia, so-called imperialistic agonia to become famous and glamorous as in 19th century. And this paranoid attitude towards history influences their behavior today. And this is dangerous for all of us on the border.
Some $61 billion in proposed US aid to Ukraine is being held up by the US Congress. Another $50 billion from the EU is being blocked by Hungary. Is there a concern about the growing war weariness in the West at the moment?
It is, but of course, democracies have also not only strong points but weaknesses in decision making, and this exactly shows how Hungary can block decisions in European Union, or democratic institutions in US can also play these games of blockage and fighting for narrow groups' interests. But finally, everything will be resolved, and that's clear that. European Union will find a way around it and will support Ukraine as much as it will be necessary. And I'm sure that the US also will finally agree on the support, because the threat from Russia is not only for the nearest neighbors, but it is the threat also to the NATO and to US itself.
What happens if former US President Donald Trump, who's been vocal about his opposition to the Ukrainian war effort, gets in for another term in the White House in 2024? What will that mean for the defence of Eastern Europe?
I had an occasion to work with President Trump in his first years of his candidacy, and he participated in the meeting of NATO in Brussels, of his first meeting, where he was frightening to withdraw from NATO even. But I can say that, yes, if this will be the case and he will win again, we will have a lot of unpredictability in the world, but manageable unpredictability. At least I'm basing on my experiences in dealing with him. So we will manage, but the main thing is to realize and understand that Russia's preparedness and war and invasion in Ukraine do not limit itself on Ukraine. And already I was reading even today that NATO is saying that Russia started to rebuild its capacities, military capacities, which are necessary not for the war of Ukraine, but for the wider possible war. So I think this understandings are already on military level are very clear. for political level, it will come sooner or later, because ironically, I can say that Russia itself will help us to understand better. For example, a lot of things for security, NATO defense plans, the deployment of forces on the east border, it's done mainly because of Russia's behavior, starting after Crimea occupation in 2014 and now during this war. So Putin will help us. I'm saying this ironically, will help us to understand our necessity for ourselves to defend ourselves.
Former President of Lithuania, Dalia Grybauskaitė, is talking about the threat posed to Baltic nations by Russia's war in Ukraine. What sort of acts of covert aggression from Russia has Lithuania seen? Have you seen anything like the forced migrant crisis we've seen recently on the Finnish border?
Oh, yes, all basket of choices we can choose from. And again, I'm a little bit joking because it looks, you cannot even be angry how Russia is using the hybrid war against all its neighbors, especially NATO members. For example, in 2021, we got influx of illegal migration organized by so-called tourist agencies in Belarus from Iraq. And we got about 4,000 migrants in just 2 or 3 months. And then we decided to be taking a very strong position on pushing back. And we avoided about 20,000 of such kind of organized tourists to our countries. It was only not only for Lithuania, but for Poland and other Baltic states. We do have every day, the cyber attacks. We have the ideological and informational wars, and the very recent, the telephone calls, for example, that in your kindergartens are explosives placed, or the letters in thousands sent in the morning that all your infrastructure, energy, transportation is also with the explosives. So it's such a desperation from Russia towards its neighbors that they try to be loved, to be adored, to be respected, but the methods how they do it is using the force, using pressures, using up to hybrid warfare and up to the direct invasion. So you never win the hearts and minds of people if you behave that way. So and we do see all, not only Lithuania, but all Baltic states and Poland, and even now Finland, all these kind of instruments they were using already from 2015 on our borders after the Crimea occupation, because they were very unhappy that we criticized these actions and we imposed at that time symbolic, but anyway, sanctions. And this is a reaction we are facing increasingly in large quantities from 2014.
Lithuania has been lobbying for the Baltic states to decouple from Russian energy earlier than the agreed 2025 deadline. I'm just curious what Lithuania's power grid will look like moving away from Russia, and what resistance has there been to an early decoupling from your Baltic neighbours such as Estonia and Latvia?
For example, we already decoupled practically from the dependency on energy from 2015 already. In 2015, Lithuania, the first in Europe, had opened LNG terminal on gas. We got the line with Sweden, electricity line with Sweden, and we got also with Poland electric link. And already in 2015, we became independent from Russia's pressure and influence, because energy was always used as a tool of influence, not only economy, but also in corrupting the political system, corrupting the political actors and not only in Baltic states, but in the West, as we know, not nice examples in Germany, for example, or France, then prime ministers were involved later in some profitable activities after the cadences. So already in 2015. So from this point of view, the link which we still are in, so-called Brel ring, still in place, but Lithuania is ready to decouple already today. But we try to be, collectively responsible with three Baltic states, and we decided to go all together. And we are ready to do it in 24, and we agreed with all three Baltic states that we already in autumn 24 will inform Russia that we all three are decoupling from 2005. We were ready earlier, but as I said, we want to be all together in this endeavor, and from 25, we will be synchronized with continental Europe already, even on the electrical grid. While, as I said, on gas, already we are fully independent.
It's been lovely to talk to you this afternoon, former President of Lithuania, Dalia Grybauskaitė. I do appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you.